Just switch it really. What's up, guys? It is your girl Sarah from Sarah Styles here. Thanks for bearing with me. I think I'm right on time. I saw the laundry and real quick. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. Welcome if you're new here. I am a reseller. I sell on, oh, hold on. My door was open. I am a reseller. I sell on various different platforms. I do this every week, Monday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard. Reseller Accountability Call. It is open to anyone. So today Christine is joining me, but it's up to 3 people I can have on this software to join me in the video comments. You're also welcome in the comments on YouTube as well. Every single week we get together. What were our successes for the week, and what are we going to be working on the next week, and then all the things in between. Christine was here last week, and we have some really good conversation about how to do it with a family, and lots of other things always come up. So this is a great chat every single week. For those who are new, I am going to let Christine kind of introduce herself again. Just tell us who she is, what she's about, and how she resells, if she's full-time, part-time, and whatnot.
Fantastic. My name is Christine. I live in South Florida. I'm a part-time reseller because I do work a full-time job, and I'm a single mom. So I just went back to work today after a couple of weeks of furlough. So today was kind of hectic for me. And now I have to get back in the part-time reselling adventure, which is usually about 20 hours a week for me. Sometimes reselling is my passion. So it was a hobby that I started on several different platforms that has just started making me money. May was a fantastic month for me, but my June sales have gone down drastically. It's been
So were you doing more full-time hours while you were on furlough and they were still going down, or do you think it's because you're working less?
No, last week I was doing a lot of work. I started a YouTube channel, so that was a lot of work to do that because I did everything. Everything I tend to do myself right now, except with the help of my 14-year-old daughter, helps me ship and things like that. But if I don't know how to do something, like I didn't know how to edit a video, well, then I just taught myself. So I need to start sending some things out and spending more time, I think, on my platforms and listing. And that was one of the things we talked about last week, was that my sales were down, and I was going to try to run some promotions and run some sales and try to get my sales up. I did that on a couple of different items, and it did not help. So I'm not sure where I'm going with that.
Yeah, it took me some momentum. And I had to give items away. I know we talked about that and it sounds very scary. But there was probably a good solid 2 weeks where at least 1 or 2 items that I was selling on eBay a day, I was losing. It was like 50 cents, but it was like a pair of shoes that I'd had for a year. And I just basically listed them at the shipping cost and did free shipping. And then once you took out the fees and, if I sent an offer or something, and it was brutal to do for sure, but it took me a couple of weeks, and then I slowly started getting momentum again. And are you listing? Are you consistent on eBay?
Right. I list 30 items a week, every week, except for 2 weeks ago. I didn't list because I was sick. So I think that hurt me the last week or the week before last. That definitely hurt me not listing. So I went sourcing and did list, 30 items. But I just, even with the sales, for some reason, my eBay just has not been what I want it to be, definitely. I was told about another platform, Bonanza, and that automatically imports all of your eBay items right to it, eBay and Etsy items. It just automatically imports. I'm told that they do charge a higher fee. So sometimes there's a selection where you can say, do I want to raise my prices 3% or 5% or something like that. So I did just do that to get more interaction with people. But I haven't seen
I haven't heard of that one. Is that only a US or is that international?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. My friend said, go do it right now. And he's been a reseller for several years and is very
I'll have to
doing quite well. And so when he told me to go do it, I said, I'm going to do it right now. That's my plan. So,
yeah, I went. So when was it? When all of this happened, I had nothing to list. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go on all the platforms because that's what I can do right now, right? Like I don't have new inventory. I'm just going to go everywhere. And I found, I mean, that was, now you're talking 3 or 4 months ago. And I found for me, it was too hard because then I wasn't good at any of them. Like Poshmark, I feel like I have kind of down. I'm slowly starting to feel like I have eBay. But then I was like, you know, what else did I try? Tradesies, but I was like, I don't know how this works. So then I was spending time trying to figure out how that works and not spending time on the platforms that I already knew. But I didn't have new inventory to list, right? So like I didn't have. So I'm going to ask people in the comments what you guys do. What do you think about cross-posting? Do you think it's better to really know 2 or 3 platforms? Or do you guys think it's better just to have everything on everywhere for the most exposure? So I'm interested to see what people do. While we wait for that, the Grumpy Thrifters are asking, what do you use to edit videos? So I'll let you talk about what you were.
Okay. I actually use Adobe Premiere Pro because
that's fancy.
Well, I have a background in marketing, so I had taken classes for it a long time ago, and just had to like reanimate myself to the program, and a couple of things I couldn't remember, like there was a volume problem I was having, and then I just searched it in Google and found the answer in 2 seconds and went, oh, that's right, I need to do this. And so that's what I use.
It is absolutely, it's time consuming, but it is absolutely amazing the world that we live in because you can teach yourself anything. I did not even have a YouTube account before I had a channel. And now I like know how to edit video. Like I didn't know how to do any of that. And I'm still learning. I'm not saying that I'm a pro by any means, but like if you want to learn something, you can absolutely do it. But I think also to your point, like when you try and do too many things, like you were probably taking time away from your reselling as you're trying to do YouTube. And so it's hard, especially as you're trying to get multiple streams of income. And now you're back to your full-time job and trying to manage it all. I think it's hard, especially once you start learning something, right?
Exactly.
Like that takes a high learning curve that I think everything has to be like self-maintaining almost, you know, to where you can learn something new.
Right. And I do believe that selling on just a few platforms is best. But Bonanza, I didn't have to do anything. If I had to go on and list items, I would not have done it. But because it was a simple import feature, and then when I sell something on eBay, it actually deletes it off of Bonanza and everything, I thought, okay, well, why not give this a shot? Because it's not anything I'm manually doing. So I decided
well, keep us posted on how that works for you.
I will.
Because I'm always looking for like easy things. But what I've learned is usually when it's like, oh, only do this, then it's not really the case.
Right.
If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it, right?
Exactly.
Not to say that it won't work for you, but
Right.
I'd venture to say they have some kind of something in the background to get sales or something like the other ones do. Michelle says that she cross posts on 3 different platforms. So what are you, remind me which ones you're on. You're on eBay and Poshmark. I know those 2.
Right. And Mercari, I just list a couple of things on Mercari, just things that are bulky items that I don't want to sell on eBay for some reason. And so I just use Mercari for those, and they sell really quick for some reason. You know, like I had this huge pirate ship pretend play thing, and I had it on eBay for a while, but shipping was going to cost a fortune. And I posted it on Mercari and it sold within 2 days. So I use that. I don't know a lot about Poshmark. That's really what I want to learn.
Well, I have lots of videos on that, or feel free to ask me questions because that's what I started in. So I feel comfortable as long as I put the time, like I know the things to do. It's just time. They're all time consuming, right? They're just different things that you have to do. But if you have questions, I can try and help you with that. I have heard, and for those who sell on Mercari, let us know what you guys think too. I've heard, I'm not on Mercari. I've heard that it's like really gaining steam. A lot of sales, a lot of new people on there, and it's really kind of competition for Poshmark, probably even eBay as well. So my plan is I backed off of everything. I have vintage on Etsy, but now I'm like Poshmark and eBay. And once I feel like I have those 2 like smooth sailing, then I might venture out to Mercari. But I also do like social media and my dashboard, and And it's
Exactly.
a lot of, I am not organized. I know you guys, I get a lot of people who are like,
can't
oh,
believe
Sarah, you're
that.
so, I know I have to overcompensate because I am not an organized person by trait. You can ask my husband. And so having it on more platforms, and I also have little kids. So trying to
Right.
remember like when something sells to take it on off of multiple platforms. I don't know. It all makes me nervous. We'll see if I get there. But something different works for everybody. That's absolutely a big thing that I'm into. Jenny Girls Closet is saying, my goal is to be as far and wide as possible for my items in my reselling and consignment shop, knowing that some are not going to be as good as others. Which is valid because you have more exposure. And some people definitely prefer like to shop on Poshmark. You know, like they will only shop on Poshmark or only on eBay.
Right.
Reseller would be, oh, go ahead.
No, that's okay. When I first started, I talked to a couple of friends that I wanted to come into the business with me, and I realized right away that they were not. While my girlfriend's husband wanted to be in the business, my girlfriend really that has the time to source for me. That's what I wanted her to do. She really was not into it, but they did not want me to be on eBay at all. They wanted me to be Amazon completely 100%. And they just didn't believe in eBay. And I said, well, that's where I'm putting in all my time. I'm just letting you know, I've been on eBay before. I started selling in 2009, I think, is when I looked at my account the other day. It said 2009. And then I restarted again just this past January. So I took several years off there. But I think eBay is perfect. But for some reason, some people are just afraid. You know, they'd rather go to Amazon and pay a little bit more when they can get the same item on eBay, you know?
Oh, yeah. From a seller's perspective, Amazon like is really scary, but also eBay is really scary too. Less scary now that I've been on it longer, but coming from Poshmark, it was like it's still scary. Like I'm terrified I'm going to make, you know, a mistake and then eBay's going to like ban me into like the dungeon forever. But what was I going to say? I don't remember. I had something to say about that, but now I don't remember. What's the easiest program to use for screen sharing and videoing yourself at the same time? I can tell you what I do. I don't know. Sorry, keeps going off on me. I can tell you what I do, but I don't know if you want to answer that first as well, if you have any suggestions.
I don't do any screen sharing. So, and right now, because I literally have 2 videos up on my YouTube channel. I've been saying that I was going to start a YouTube channel for a year now. And my 2 older kids who are 32 and 34 have been saying, you need to do this, Mom. Come on, start doing this. And so I literally just started, and I have 2 videos up, and my 14-year-old is like, Mom, you got to get better at this. I said,
but it takes
my second video.
No, yes, it takes time. Don't let anyone tell you that. It takes time, and the only way that you're going to get better is by starting, right? Like, and putting yourself out there and doing it. And I will tell you, any YouTuber that I've talked to doesn't like looking at their old videos because they're like, oh my God, like what was I doing? And it's a progression, and people follow you and like the authenticity that you get better, and you like don't listen to them.
And I'm just using an iPhone to do my video right now. And, you know, my daughter wants all this video equipment because she wants to do her own channel and everything. And I said, we're just starting out. We're going to use our iPhones, and it's been working fine. So
that's how my husband is. He's very, I don't necessarily want to say OCD, but he, like, if he were to start a YouTube channel, he would invest in like a year in figuring out all of the best equipment and all of the, and I'm like, I'm just going to start and figure it out as I go. And someone's like, I can't hear you. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should get a microphone. Like, instead of like the opposite where, you know, and everyone has a different way of doing it, but I say, just do it. Right. Like that's how you just have to jump in and do it.
You just have to jump in.
I will say, so I use iMovie. I have a Mac, and I use iMovie, which is really easy to teach yourself and use. It doesn't have as much capabilities from what I've heard as like Adobe does. But it's like I've taught myself it, and I haven't really watched many tutorials. I just kind of like, oh, that seems pretty intuitive. What does that do? Oh, okay. That did what it says that it does. However, to share your screen, you have to take a screenshot. I need to turn my Siri off. I hope you guys can't hear that. Siri keeps coming up. So in iMovie, you have to record your screen, and then, you use QuickTime. I think that's what it's called, QuickTime Player, to record your video and then record your screen. And then in iMovie, you have to do like an overlay. So it's really time consuming. So I've recently started, in my next couple of videos, guys, let me know how they turn out. I've recently started using Zoom. You can do a call by yourself and you can record the call. And then you don't have to have anything fancy to do it. You can record the call and then you can record your screen at the same time. And it does the overlay for you. So then I don't have to go in and edit it. And I found out today too, I can also show my phone on the Zoom call. Because there's certain times like on apps that I'm like, well, I want to show you what that looks like in an app. And so let me know what you guys think. The next couple of videos that I do, I'm doing in Zoom, and it seems to be slowing or making the process quicker because I don't have to do the overlay. And then if you don't have like anyone has access to Zoom, so you don't have to have a fancy, you don't have to have fancy software to do it.
Right.
A reseller passion, Leslie. Oh, I love Leslie. Head on over to Leslie's channel. I was on there last week chatting with her. She's been making the most sales on Mercari lately. The Grumpy Thrifters. I did Posh 1 year, then I added eBay. We just added Mercari about 6 weeks ago. We use lists perfectly to cross lists. We are now trying to learn how to thread up correctly. Mercari is super easy. I've heard that Mercari is super easy. I'm a huge proponent of List Perfectly. If you don't use it, I do have a code that you guys can use to get a discount. I think it gives you 30% off of the first month. I don't know. I have a discount. So if you want to get into List Perfectly, let me know. I have a coupon code. It does make it easier. Do you use?
I don't use that. No, because the only things I list on Mercari, I don't list anywhere else. So it's once it's sold, I don't have to worry about going and delisting it from other areas. And like I said, with Bonanza, I've already sold a couple items on eBay and it took it off immediately off of Bonanza.
That's genius.
Yes.
They're smart. I mean, if that picks up, they're smart because that's the hard part.
Right.
But you have Poshmark and eBay.
Right. Exactly.
So from one to the other, I go back and forth. I use List Perfectly, and then I also have a lister that I paid to do it for me. And she doesn't like List Perfectly, and so I'm like, I don't care. Do it however you prefer.
However it gets done. I'm writing that down perfectly. Okay.
Yes, and you can send me a DM. I can. I have a couple of videos on it as well. But List Perfectly will. So, and this is what I liked about List Perfectly. I haven't used the other softwares, but I did a little bit of research, and this was months ago, about the others. But you can keep your all of your listings in there and export a CSV file, and then you're able to look at data, which you know me, that's a big selling point. But you can take it off, so it'll have all of the different places that you have it on, and you hit that it's sold, and then it takes it all off, which is kind of nice too. But if you're only like Bonanza does that for you,
right?
Reseller Wendy, if you want to send me a DM, Reseller Wendy, we can chat about it. She's asking about the screen sharing. We can chat about it, and I can help you if you want to send me a DM. My 15-year-old uses Mercari and makes more sales than I do. I've only cross-posted a handful of things. I love it. These younger kids. I would totally have been all about that at that age, for sure.
Well, and I really want my daughter to learn Poshmark. She's telling me, listen, I want something to do this summer because everything's closed. She wants to make some money and go work. And all the camps, she was going to volunteer at a camp, or not volunteer, but get paid for a camp. And all the camps are closed here in Florida. I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 camps that are open up, and they're already filled with their employees. So I said, well, why don't you learn Poshmark? But right now I don't source for Poshmark. I only list things that people give me, or our own items. Mostly my daughter's things are on there. And I said, it's a social media. So that's something you love to do, is to be on there sharing all the time and, listing. So you could do that easily. So I've put that into her mind.
Yeah, if she knows how to source, or she's interested in sourcing, she could probably source pretty well for Poshmark. Because it's, like trendier, fashion-y kinds of things.
Right.
Interesting. I was going to say, I did want to shout out. I don't know if she hopped on or not, but I want to show you my shirt. I thought you'd be able to see it, but I have to do a screenshot. Peace, love, and equality makes the world a better place. I ordered this from, let me show you, A Whole Lot of Love. She makes them herself. And I just ordered it. So I put it on. I told her, so I don't know if she hopped on for the call or not, but I ordered it from her. She has a whole bunch of them. And the ones that she's selling, some of them to help, I don't want to say this wrong, so I was hoping that she would be on. It was a fundraiser, and I think it was helping a single mom. When I ordered them last week, I remember what it was, and then I just got the mail as I went on this call. So hopefully she hops on and says it. But it is a whole lot of love on Instagram if you guys are interested. She has ones like these, and then she has a lot of like Black Lives Matter ones and lots of really good stuff. And most of them are as a fundraiser. Proceeds are going to help something important. That's terrible. I remember a week ago exactly what it was that I liked what it was for, and now I don't remember. So hopefully she hops on, or you can send her a DM or send me a DM and I'll give you her information as well. All right, so let's talk about, this is an accountability call. So everyone in the chat, and then you as well, Christine, let's talk about what our goals were for last week and what our big successes were. I mean, you were here last week, so you can talk specifically if you had the goal that you had for last week. And even if you didn't get to that, if you had a big success for the week.
I did have a big success. I did meet my goals, which were to post 30 items, go out sourcing again and post 30 items, which I did. But I have to tell you, I think my biggest success was using your dashboard. And this is why. Because I love this. It gives me so much data that I didn't have before. Mm-hmm. And I'm able to see things easy. I already had a spreadsheet, which was good and helped me with accounting purposes and my inventory. But I was able to take my spreadsheet and copy and paste, the certain columns into your spreadsheet. And it gave me a bigger perspective of where I really was, what my sell-through rate was, what my average cost was, average sale was, which I had no idea. And in doing that, I was able to, you have a column in there saying, when did you list this item? Well, I didn't have that down because whenever I buy an item, I list it right away. So I didn't really have that. So I started looking back at my items, and I found probably at least 20 items that I hadn't listed that I thought I had when I was going through. So I had these
money right there. You didn't have to go sourcing.
Exactly. So I've got those saved because I spent so much time working on the spreadsheet and looking at the analytics and all of that. But I have to say that was my biggest conquer last week, was getting that done and getting all the data correctly, put in and being able to see everything.
And did I ingrain in your mind trash in, trash out?
Yes.
I say that in the video like 17 times and I have people give me a hard time. But the only reason that I say it so many times is I was told it so many times in college courses, and then also when I was working in corporate America. If you don't put the right data in, like those charts aren't going to tell you anything. But It's hard when you're fortunate because you already had a spreadsheet. So to clarify, you're talking about the sales and trends dashboard.
Exactly.
I have 3 different dashboards. 2 are mainly PoshMark, and those you can export from PoshMark and put those reports in. So that's more simplistic in the fact that it's a copy and paste what you export from PoshMark. The sales and trends one, which is what Christine is talking about, is you can look at all of the platforms that you sell on, or if you sell, like you're mainly on eBay, but you can look at all the different platforms and your business as a whole. But then you have to manage your own data, which can kind of be overwhelming. But if you're someone like Christine who is used to already keeping track of everything, it's kind of, it's in a slightly different format and maybe more columns than you're used to having, but you're already used to doing that. Exactly. And you could just copy and paste it over. It's kind of daunting when you first start if you don't have anything, because you have to like go into different places and export it. But I'm here to help. I answer questions as I can. And if you have the dashboard, it comes with a how-to video that you can watch as many times as you need and follow step by step as well. But I'm glad that it's helpful, because I feel like I am doing like sales pitches for it all the time. And it's not necessarily that. I use it in my business, and it is helping me that I want to be able to have other people use it as well, right? Like instead of playing this guessing game, what is working, what is selling, like you can know. You don't have to guess. You don't have to watch other YouTubers and see what's selling for them, because you don't have access to that. You don't have you can know what is actually working for you.
Right.
So that's...
I would watch other videos and people would talk about, oh, my sell-through rate and all this. And I was like, where would you get that from? My spreadsheet doesn't tell me that. It tells me my cost of goods. It tells me how much I sell something. It tells me my return on investment. But that's pretty much, all mine says, and what my fees are and things like that. But, I really, that was huge for me to see the data and present it in that fashion with graphs and things like that. That's because I'm a visual person. So I really love to see that.
Well, good. And I'm glad that it's helpful. And it's exciting for me to hear when people because that's how I feel about it too. When I started looking at my information, and I didn't look at it nice and pretty like the ones that I sell, because I would be selling them, right? And I have a background in data that I was like, oh, I know what that means. It doesn't need to be pretty. But it is helpful. And my sole purpose in doing it is that you can have the data, you can look at it quickly and know what it means. And you don't have to sit down and figure out how to calculate a sell-through rate. Like, nobody wants to do that. I mean, I do. But most other people, you don't want to do that. It calculates it for you. And I tell you what a sell-through rate is and how to use it. You don't have to sit down and figure out how to use Excel and calculate formulas. JB Owens is asking, I would like to list things on List Perfectly first and then cross list from there. But because I want to use the white background feature, I have to start on eBay and go from there. That makes sense. So I think he's talking about eBay just rolled out a new feature that you can put a photo in and then it whites out the background for you, which is pretty amazing. It gives you that nice crisp photo, but you can't do that in List Perfectly. So he wants to, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he wants to list in eBay so he can do that feature there. And then what I was doing, I prefer to list in eBay first as well, because there's way more fields in eBay. So I would list in eBay and then I would just pull it in. You can you list it into, like, you would cross post it into List Perfectly. And then once it's in List Perfectly, you can do it from there. You can also, if you don't want to, if you don't care to have it in List Perfectly, like I liked my data in List Perfectly because then I can export the data and it's all there. And then if it's in List Perfectly, when I mark that it's sold, it'll delete it off of the other platform. So if you want it in List Perfectly, you'll have to go from eBay, put it into List Perfectly, and then cross post from there. If you don't care about having it in List Perfectly, you can take it from eBay and directly cross post it to other platforms and not even have to touch List Perfectly, if that makes sense. So I hope that clarified it. If you have other questions, I don't work for List Perfectly. I just know what I've used. They have a lot of tutorials on their channel, and they also have a Facebook user group as well. And they just added Kinsey's. I don't sell on Kinsey's, but they just added that platform.
I'm not familiar with that platform at all.
I don't know. I can't. It's too many. I tried to do too many, and I'm not.
Right.
I have this facade that I'm organized, but y'all, I'm not. Like my husband, if he's on, he's watching the kids, so I don't know if he's on, but he will tell you I'm not. He's in charge of anything important in our life because he's organized. Like he has a filing cabinet and everything's where it belongs. And
right.
I'm not. A reseller's passion. Leslie is saying my goal was to start selling my handmade items every day. I've accomplished that goal. I also opened a new Etsy store. Hooray, hooray.
Okay.
Yeah, Leslie has really cool. She's doing like tie-dye and like flowers on stuff. Yes, this is my husband. I did a podcast this week and they called, I can't say his name. It's like a Japanese anime character and I can't say it. And someone called him Mrs. Styles or Mr. Styles. This week I did a podcast and she referred to him as Mr. Styles. And I was like, I'm going to have to tell him that he has to change his YouTube name to Mr. Styles. So people know it's him. All right. So my goal, I don't honestly remember, as terrible as that sounds. I think it was to do a podcast. That is one of my big goals.
Right. We did.
That was my big success. I did start a podcast. Hooray, hooray. It is not as difficult as it sounds. It is actually incredibly easy. And I think I saw her on here earlier. Daniela was the one who convinced me to do it. She has a Thrifters Villa podcast with Lori Boston Finds. Follow all of them on all of the social media platforms. Lots of really good information. It is super easy to start. Definitely much easier than a YouTube. So if you're thinking about a way to get some more social media presence, I would go with, it depends on what you want to do, but like it was really easy. And I only have, so right now I am just taking my YouTube content and taking the audio out of it and putting it on a podcast. So I'm not necessarily creating new content for it, but it is pretty easy. And Leslie's on here too. I wonder if she has both. So I'm interested to see what she thinks as well. This is, I don't know if you were here before, a whole lot of love for you. I'm assuming this is a whole lot of love since that's her name. But I did do a shout out for you. If you want to tell us a little bit more about your shirts, I have it on again. I'll show you guys. If you want to tell us a little bit about your shirts, if you relate to the game, drop a note in the comments and tell us where people can find them and all about them. Oh, thanks. I didn't mean to put that one up there. Oh, look at this. Mr. Styles. What's going to be funny is he's a big gamer, and so he's in like a bunch of gaming communities on YouTube, and they're going to be like, what is that? So that was my big goal. I'm also working on, I started it today, so I think this is going to be my goal. I list 7 items a day. I have a lister. So I want full disclosure, like I cannot keep up with, I can take photos for that many items. I am not listing those myself. Just when people are like, oh, you do everything. And I don't. I pay people to do things. This is why I can get as much done as I can. But I was doing 7 a day. And so for the past 2 weeks, I was trying to take photos to see if I could keep up with taking enough photos a week to do 8 items a day. And I did. So I started today listing 8 items. So that was kind of a big win too. Like I'm slowly starting. I want to get up to 10 items a day, but that's a lot.
That is. Now, do you think it's better to list every day a certain amount of items, or like I list everything on Saturdays because that's what works for me? I go sourcing on Thursdays and Saturday mornings, and then Saturday afternoon I'm taking pictures and listing.
I cannot speak to eBay because I am not a pro on eBay. From what I've heard and talking to people, you have to be consistent. And so I've heard that means you have to list the same amount every day, or like for you list every Saturday.
Right.
So for eBay, I can't speak to it. I know consistency is key. I don't know to what extent. For PoshMark, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't.
Okay. Listing does not matter on PoshMark. You have to have new inventory to sell, right? Like you have to have items to sell. So that's important. You have to be active on PoshMark every day. And I did a video last week about things that I do every single day on PoshMark. And I have a checklist too on my website. And it's like $1 just because I have fees to be on the website. But those are things that I do on PoshMark every single day. And it's not listing. I list when I have inventory and things to list on PoshMark. eBay, however, I've heard that you have to be very consistent. So I do every single day. But I think once a week, if that's what you're used to doing.
That's what I've always done, but I'm wondering if maybe that's why I know the stores have opened, so I think that's one reason why my sales have gone down, but I'm just looking for new things to try right now to see if I can get my sales back up to where they were, because, I've got to do something different.
Well, and I think everyone, so 2 questions for the people in the chat. One was, eBay people, what are your thoughts on listing every single day or once a week, or what are your guys' thoughts on that? Second thing is eBay people. And I mean, everyone has an opinion, but those who are really good on eBay, what are your thoughts on June? Every single person that has been on eBay for years and years has told me June is awful.
Oh,
so that can be part of it too. And they just constantly have to remind themselves not to cry and to keep being consistent, because then when it picks back up, you have more stuff. So that might be, my June is worse than my May. But
yeah, I had such a good May, and then to see my sales just go right down, especially on your chart.
That's right. Sometimes it's not data that you want to see.
Exactly. So it's crazy.
Well, and I wonder too, and people in the chat, let us know what you guys think too. With everything that's happening, like the pandemic and COVID is still going on, but that's kind of like not as shocking anymore, and stores are opening back up, and we're kind of trying to figure out how to like make this work. The unemployment rates are still kind of high, but at least in my area with the stores opening back up, I'm seeing a lot of now hiring signs and some kind of normalcy as far as that goes. However, we are now having riots and why can't I think of the word? Not a riot when it's not violent. What is the word that I'm thinking of? A protest.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Maybe I should not be doing these at night. I promise. Sometimes I can come up with words. Protest. But right now, like in the world, there's a lot of things going on, right? Like there's a lot of turmoil. People are outside protesting, or trying to, a lot of people on social media took a day or a week off. And that could have been from like shopping and stuff as well. Like, I don't know that the priority is in shopping and reselling. And then you also have it summer where people are, I don't know how this is with the pandemic and what's open.
Right.
In general, the summer slows down because people are outdoors and not necessarily shopping.
Right. Now that could be, you've got good points there. So, those are things that I'm going to take into account, but at the same time, it just makes me sad. I want to be selling more, definitely. So I'm going to look at this week, my goal is to really look at my listings on eBay and make sure they're filled out to the best of their ability and see if I've missed some things or something like that. But
do you look at like the data that eBay gives you?
I do.
That's really, I started doing that too. And that's really helpful too, to like look at how many impressions you're getting and views that you're getting in. Cause I do that every day too. I go in, I'm going to drop the video, I think this week, about the I do it every day on eBay. And I'm going to say, full disclosure, I am not an eBay pro. I'm just telling you, as I'm learning what is working, I want to share it with others. But going in and changing things to make sure that and what store level do you have? Do you have the 50 free list?
I have the next one up, the basic store.
Because I was going to say, someone pointed out to me, like, we have all of these free listings. Like, I'm relisting old stuff because we have all these free listings.
Right.
Which kind of gives it a new. All right, let me check in with the chat. I was asking them questions and then we got into our thing. Okay, so this is a whole lot of love. I just started making them. I opened an Etsy shop, still building it up. If you want to leave your Etsy shop in the comments, or in the comments, if you want to leave your Etsy shop so people, or just your Instagram handle so people can reach out to you if they want to buy them. There are a lot of really cute ones, for sure. Super fast shipping. I ordered it a couple days ago and then I was like, what is in my mailbox? I completely forgot that I ordered it. But it was really fast shipping. So reseller Wendy said, I've been creating drafts and listing them throughout the week on Poshmark. I'm going to tell you why I don't do this, because they did up their drafts. They used to only have 15 and now I think it's maybe like 50. I don't do this, and maybe they fixed it, but I don't trust the drafts. When they first came out, like a year-ish ago, you would do a draft and then it would, you would do a draft and then it would be a day or two and then you would list it, and it wouldn't show as just in, it would show as the date that you listed it 3 days or whenever you created the draft. And in Poshmark, you want things to be just in because that is one of the biggest search features. So I've heard that they fixed that, but I've also heard that they haven't. And I've tested it, not recently, but in the past couple of months, and it didn't go to just in for me. So I don't like doing drafts on Poshmark. And to me, it doesn't matter listing every day as long as you're active. So I make sure to go on and do things on Poshmark every day, but I don't do listings. Jenny Girl's Closet. For eBay, you need to list every day. Summer is always slower. I notice when I list, I make sales. Yep. Yes. Okay. Well, so maybe try this. I do think listing every day on eBay is key. Okay. But if you're listing, so if you are doing it on Saturday, you can just do drafts, right? And then you have.
That kind of scares me. I looked at doing drafts the other day, and I just really want to make sure that it's done and it's on there. I don't know, but I do want to start. I think I am going to start listing every day. I have all these items. I have like 20, 25 items from, finding them from your dashboard. So maybe I'll just start this week and start listing.
How do you have time? You don't have to list every day.
Well, I can just work it into my routine. Like I did shipping just before I came on here. I worked 8 to 4, and then I came home, made dinner, did a little bit of laundry that my daughter had put in, did shipping, and then I still had, an hour and a half before we got on our call. So,
but like relax or something. Like, watch a show you like, because you're on the East Coast now, so you're talking it's almost 9 o'clock, so you're going to bed after this, right?
Right.
Winding
down. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Well, what if you like on Saturday, because if you like to list the same day that you post it, what if you like just took all the pictures and then you wouldn't have to, then you would just have the pictures?
That's true.
Because that's what I used to do. Well, I
do that.
I just send the pictures to my lister and she does it.
But I got to tell you, when I list, like when I purchase things, when I source, the first thing I do is I come home and I look everything up and see what the comps are, for that particular item. Don't get me wrong. When I'm sourcing, I'm looking too, but I'm not looking as closely. I just want to look to see, yes, it's on eBay. Yes, I can sell it and make a profit. And then I'm going on. So when I get home, I actually open up a Word document and I put in the title of the item and I search for it. I put all my descriptions in. So when I get to the listing point, I have all of my information ready to go. So that wouldn't, if I did all of that on Saturday and then just listed in the evenings, a couple of items every evening, I'd be set. Yeah, that would work for me.
Yeah, you'd have most of it. That's what before I had a lister, that's what I would do. I would do all the descriptions and stuff in a Word document, and then I could easily just put it in.
Right.
And something you may try to sell similar isn't necessarily as good as new inventory, but you could also try like a couple new things and then also just sell similar a couple items a day too, and see if that helps.
Right.
Kind of trick the algorithm that you're busy.
Exactly.
JB Owens is saying today is the first day that I've looked at the traffic report and I'm not up 100% in page views from the month before. My store has grown 75% in terms of items from last month. If you guys aren't, I'm hoping to put together a video sometime. But if you aren't looking at the eBay data, like especially if you're have everything on eBay, like you are doing yourself a disservice. They give you so much information that you can see what's doing well, fix things, see if it works, run a sale, see if that sale did anything for you. Like I have promoted sales on and I'm like, well, should I do it? Should I not? Well, like 67% of my sales come from promoted sales. So but like I know that like eBay gives you that information. Right. So PoshMark, I don't know Mercari, and the other ones, I don't know what they give you. Thank you, Mr. Styles and Miscellaneous, for telling me it's a protest. I promise I knew that. I got there eventually. Jenny Girl's Closet, this is also another valid point. I think the real issue is millions more sellers online, and so competition is higher, and there is a glut of new inventory. I think that's very valid. You have a lot of people who are at home and now don't have, jobs. 30 million people, 32, I think was the last stat that I saw. And those are people who have filed for unemployment. Who knows how many people like haven't gotten to that point yet or haven't did not. But a lot of them are coming online. Mercari, I think it was Mercari or maybe it was PoshMark, but the amount of new people that they had in the last quarter was like outrageous. Like it was the highest that they've ever had. So that's true too. You have a lot more competition. And most of the newer people that are coming on, I mean, some of it, especially on eBay, they probably don't know how eBay works, right? Like we both have been on eBay for a while. We're resellers. We know how the eBay works and we're still struggling. So they're probably, I feel like on eBay, they're maybe not putting like, I don't use this anymore, like you see on PoshMark. But they probably aren't as sophisticated in knowing how eBay works, would be my guess. But they're probably much more willing to just take whatever for an item, right? Like
exactly. Just make me an offer and I'll take it.
Yeah. But I think that's a valid point in what's happening right now is that might be the future of where we're going, and we need to grow and learn with it. eBay or Walmart also paired up with ThreadUp, and it's live, so you can shop on Walmart.com and get used items from ThreadUp, but it's on Walmart. And like, hello, Walmart's big.
Right.
Like, boom. Like they just took a ton of competition away from us. Right.
Right. Exactly.
So that is, I did a show with Christina from Kitten Bee Boutique. And we talked about economics and we talked a lot about this kind of stuff. So if you're interested in getting a little bit deeper in this, go check out that video as well. But there is a lot of things going on right now for sure.
Right.
Oh, so Wendy, this is interesting. So I still wouldn't do drafts then. I did notice it shows the day you list it is when you created the draft. That's a good tip on it not being just in. Yeah, so I wouldn't do drafts because people, if you look at how Poshmark works, when you are searching for things and filter, you can do just in, you can do recently price dropped. I don't remember the other ones, but I'll give you a tip real quick on that. So just in is how people search, but recently price dropped is one of the search engines as well too. So I price drop every single item on Poshmark. I intentionally price it 10% higher. And then as soon as I list it, I drop it 10%. So it's going to just in, and then it's also going to price drop. So I'm hitting like double exposure.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh God, no, get out of here. You need to list at least 15 to 20 items each day on eBay to get the system to kick in. Does that include sell similar, Jenny's girl? And I still have to scroll down in the chat. So maybe she gets that. Oh, 7 is not enough to get eBay excited. Well, crap, which means that you're 30. You're not enough to get.
But I've been doing well so far. I mean, that's the thing. I've been, my sales have consistently been going up and up and up. And I've been consistently listing at least 30 items every Saturday.
Do you have like a return or like a negative review?
No, I just switched to returns. That was one thing I did. I was going to switch to returns this past week. And that was one thing I did was, change my whole closet into returns. So I haven't had anything. I haven't had a negative review. I haven't had a return. I think I'm about to, but because I've been going back and forth with the seller. And I'm just trying to make him happy. I'm like, I'll send you something and refund you right now if you want to keep the item. And he hasn't responded yet. So I think I'm about to get my first return.
And I've heard eBay people, I've heard that a return isn't necessarily bad unless it's a return item not as described.
Right.
So if you have, so I think as long as you get, I'm just trying to think of other things that could like trigger the algorithm. I think because I'm noticing it in all of my sales, I think there's a lot going on in the world. I think it's not as intense as it was a couple of weeks ago. Like there's still protests out there and people are still, but like a week or two ago, it was intense. Like people were not doing normal life things, right?
Right.
They were focused on much other things and they still are, but I don't know to the extent. Let me see. With more people listening to just want to check in and make sure. ThreadUp. Sure. ThreadUp has an eBay store selling stuff, $2.99 free shipping, but we still have items to sell. So we can't compete with that.
Right. There's no competition there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on as resellers. The bigger companies are getting into it. Jenny Girl's Closet, yes, you can sell similar as part of your new items. So that might be something that you make a habit of doing so many similars a day too. I list 5 daily and my sales has consistently increased each month. So there's a lot of different, this is the hard part. Like a lot of people say different things, right?
Right.
All right. Oh my God, it's almost 7. Let's talk about what we're going to do this week. Okay. Conversation though coming up. Lots of good questions and people in the chat. Thank you for all of your information as well. I do want to say one more time, I'll probably say it again, so not one more time, but this live chat, if you want to come on video, is open to anybody who wants to. You just have to send me a DM and I will send you the link to join. And I haven't done shameless self-promotion yet. That is another thing. So shameless, I'm going to have you guys do shameless self-promotion in the chat as you, as we talked to Christine about what her goals for the week are. And then I'll let you, before we wrap up, to do your shameless self-promotion. But coming on, if you have a new YouTube channel, or you are trying to get your podcast going, or anything, or you just want to chat, come on the video and you can, do a little bit of self-promotion, and then we'll chat and talk about our successes and goals for the next week. And you don't have to comb your hair, because I have people that are like, I don't want to put makeup on. And I'm like, it's live. No one cares. Right. It's fine. I put lipstick on every once in a while, because that's all that I do ever, because we don't leave the house. All right. So shameless self-promotion in the comments, and then also in the comments, drop your notes below on what your guys' goals are for the week. And then Christine, I will let you I heard a paper, so you were prepared.
I just wanted to look back at my notes of what I had done last week and what I was planning on doing this week. So this week I want to make another YouTube video, because I want to post one every Sunday is my goal. And I think that's a realistic goal according to my time frame and how much time I can actually put into something like this. I want to list these items that were in my dead pile that I didn't even know about. So that's going to be important. And the other important thing that I got from your channel on Saturday night was I need to get with a CPA and go over some of my accounting structures. So I think I know that I have everything that a CPA would need, but I just want to make sure everything's good. And I got that off of your call on Saturday night with the accountant that brought up a lot of important issues. So, and
she does, I will say she does. If you guys didn't watch, it's the recording's up, so you can go back. It's Nicole Colette. She is a reseller, but she's also a tax accountant. So she does tax accounting and bookkeeping for resellers, which is it's really important to find someone who knows reselling, because it is a little bit different than other types of income. And so her info, you can ask me, or her comments are, I think, on her. In my video that I did on Saturday, her information, if you want to reach out to her as well. She's good with answering questions, but then you can also pay her to do it for you. But that's I got that too. I think I have my shit together, and then I got off the call with her and I was like, I need to get my shit together.
Right.
So on that note, definitely go back and check it. But I'm glad that you brought that up. I've been trying to, Victoria, I think I saw her on here. Victoria has this nice Adventures in Reselling, I think is her YouTube. It's hard to remember all the different names and people, but Victoria was on a couple of weeks ago, and she has a nice, pretty infographic, chart. And every week she goes through and that's not my life that I live right now, but I am getting better about making. And at the beginning of the week, I will make my monthly goals, and then I go through, because I have 3 things in my business. I have the dashboard that I do, I have social media, and then I have reselling, and that's kind of the big blocks of my time. So I go through and, these are the things that I want to do for the week to get them done. And then as I think about things, I get these little Post-it notes.
Right.
And this Post-it note is my business account. So I did send an email to my CPA, because I do work with a CPA. But I sent an email to him this weekend, right after the call with Nicole, because I was like, I'm going to forget otherwise. And he responded this evening. So I'll look at it in the morning and see. But if you guys didn't watch the call, I don't have a business account, mostly because I want my husband to do it. And if it's in our personal account, then he kind of has to, because he has to see it. But something that she pointed out, I'm an LLC, so I thought that it protected me from them taking my business assets if something happened. And something that she pointed out is, even if you're an LLC, but it's in your personal account, it is part of your business. So that had me shitting my pants. Not that I'm doing anything bad, but I don't want them to come after all of our assets, right? And so getting a business account is on. Do you have a business account?
I don't, because I'm a sole proprietorship. So I can I can exchange money back and forth, and that doesn't matter. And that was one reason why I did go with the sole proprietorship. I knew that I wasn't going to have when I sold before, I did have a corporation, and, it was just me and my husband at the time. And it was great tax benefits, but this time I just decided to go with sole proprietorship, so I didn't have to worry about the money and having a separate account and keeping everything separate and things like that. I mean, I do have to keep track of my expenses. Of course, I keep a receipt for everything. I list that in my spreadsheet, but no, I don't have separate accounts, which I should. It would make things a lot easier, but I don't.
And getting like QuickBooks or Quicken, because I have a surprise, I have a spreadsheet that I track everything in as well, but I have to go in and like type it in and then say this is an expense and say, and if you do like the QuickBooks or Quicken and then you have your business account, it all does it for you. So that is, I don't think I'm going to have it done by next week. Hold me accountable, but that's a lot to do all of my regular things and get a business account set up and QuickBooks. But that is like maybe my monthly goal. I'll do what month? Like 30-day goal, not like my June goal, because that's only 2 weeks. By what is it now? We are June 15th. So by mid-July, you guys can hold me accountable.
Okay.
I need to have a business account and some kind of like software to do it, because what I'm doing is not cutting it. So I'm glad you brought that up. That is on my goal. Let me see what else I have.
I did think about QuickBooks too. A friend had suggested that to me. And I said, well, I put everything in my Excel spreadsheet. And he said, well, that's great. But what happens when you're selling 500 items a week? And that's, that's your goal. That's where you want to get to. You're not going to be able to put all that data in there and just let QuickBooks do everything for you, So I was like, oh, okay, that's a good point.
It is. That's kind of where I'm at, because before it was like I was just on PoshMark, and so it was like putting in my PoshMark stuff, and then I got on eBay, and then I did a dashboard, and now I have YouTube income. I mean, not anything great, but like I have all these different, and it's getting complex, and then every time my husband sits down to do it, it turns into like hours, because he's like trying to type things out, and he's like, well, where is this coming from? And I'm like, that's a great question. I don't know. And so it was all in a business account in QuickBooks. I've been saying it for 6 months. I just need to do it. So this is why these calls are good, because in a month when I don't do it, you guys can shame me. I'll do it. I'll feel shamed into doing it. So that is my big high one. Let me think about what I'm doing. I think business as usual. I'm trying to get, so on my podcast, I am doing mainly just like, I'll probably put this on there because we had some really good content to talk about. I could put it on my podcast, but trying to get momentum on my podcast. So if you have a podcast, and I'm talking to Jenny's girl, Leslie, and I think Daniela was on here too. I think they all have podcasts. Give me all your tips and tricks for a podcast, how to get exposure over there. I don't know how it works. So I'm slowly trying to I have to like take the audio out of here and put it onto a podcast, and then upping my inventory. I've got to a place I'm starting to get a couple of people who will shop for me. I like shopping, but to list as much as I want to have the volume, I can't shop that often. And so I found a couple of people that can do that for me. So I'm going to kind of work and see how that goes. So those are kind of my big goals. I think just keeping up with the 8 items a day, eventually getting to 10. But right now I'm just going to see how it goes, 8 items a day for like a couple of weeks. Because I have little kids. And so like 1 week they'll let me, and then if they don't let me the next week, it's not manageable. All right, let's check in with people in the chat, how things are going as well. Oh, here we go. Jenny Girl's Closet, shameless self-promotion. I host closet conversations on iTunes, a reselling podcast, and I also have a YouTube channel, Jenny Girl's Closet. I'm also doing virtual sales to resellers who are looking for inventory. She was on my channel. She has a consignment shop. Excuse me. Lots of really good inventory from what I've seen on her channel. Drama Free Mama, I love your handle. It's fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Remember. Here we go. Apparently, this is the topic this week. My goal is to do my 2019 taxes soon. They did give an extension. Someone mentioned, I had a side note. I had to write something down for something else. Lovely Lotus's goal this week is 100 new listings. So 20 a day is what I'm shooting for. So Lovely Lotus, I don't know if you remember, she was on a couple of weeks ago and she mentioned last week, I want to know if she's got everything cross-posted. She's using List Perfectly to cross-post like 1,000 items, I think it was, on the various platforms. So drop a note, Lovely Lotus, if you were able to do that. Diane, I made 3 sales the other day. It was one Mercari, one on eBay, and one on PoshMark. You distributed. I'm getting my own business account this week, hopefully. My husband wants it all separate. Yeah, mine does. Oh, look. I'm holding you to it. Yes, he does. I've been dragging my feet at it. So Jenny Girls Closet, I have a business account and I use QuickBooks, so helpful. So I think that is kind of all of our, lot of our goals. Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. All right, well, I will leave it here. I'm going to let you do a shameless self-promotion if you have anything else that you would like to promote. I know you have a new YouTube channel, so definitely let us know what that is. And you can come back and leave the link for it once this is a recording, so people can go directly there. Make sure to give a like or smash the like button. Yes, I am terrible at saying it. It sounds so funny. Smash the like button if you like this content. Make sure to go and follow Christine on all of her places as well. And I'll let her do a little shameless self-promotion where we can find you and all of that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on. So my name, Drama Free Mama, comes from, comes from my website, which is a blog, dramafreemama.com. So you can find me there. On Twitter and Instagram, it's dramafree_mama. And on eBay, my store is Toy Go Round Inc. So it's all one word. And I do have a website, toygoround.net, which is all my eBay inventory loaded into that. So you can get to my store that way as well.
Awesome. So definitely follow her on all those places. I also started an affiliate program last week, but if you have the dashboard and you are a fan of the dashboard and you tell people about it, you might as well get a little bit of a kickback. So definitely fill out the form. It takes about 5 minutes to go through the whole process and set it all up. And then once you have it, there's a dashboard. You get a coupon code and a link, and you can give it to people, and then you just get paid, and you can look at your all your stats and stuff to see how it's going. So if you do have the dashboard and you're interested, you don't actually even have to have the dashboard. I would prefer that like you use the product before you promote it. But if you really truly believe in it and you haven't even tried it, you can be an affiliate, I guess, as well. There's not I couldn't like limit if you have it or not. So if you want to promote it and you don't have it, I appreciate that as well. I think the link for that is down below. If not, it is on my website, www.sarahstylesllc.com. And I am Sarah Styles LLC everywhere, all of the platforms. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure to hit that like button on the way out. Leave comments down below if you're watching this in the recording. If you're listening to this on the podcast, like follow me. Is that what you do on podcasts? I don't even know podcasts. I think you can I
don't know either.
Follow or subscribe or something on the podcast.
I think you subscribe.
Yeah. Okay. So subscribe. Like it if you can or something. I don't know. I will figure that out, but this will likely go over to the podcast. So if you're on there, do whatever you do on a podcast, and subscribe to this channel if you like content like this. Like I said, this is open to anybody. If you want to come on the video, I would love to have you. I think lots of people, everybody has something to share. Me and Christine had lots of great conversation. I learned from her, and I hope that we all learned from a little something from each other today and are being held accountable so that next week we can come back and grow and learn together. So if you do want to come on this video, give me a slide into my DMs. That's the term. Slide into my DMs on Instagram, and I will send you the link to come on the video or join us in the chat every Monday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard. There is one Monday, I'll have to look it up, and I'll leave a note. One Monday, I am not going to be doing it, and I'll put an announcement out. I think it's in a couple of weeks. I'm doing a cultural conversation with a reseller's passion, just talking about things that are going on now and what we can do about it. So one of those Mondays, I think it's in 2 weeks. I won't be here because I'll be doing that with her. But other than that, it is every Monday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard. So I hope everyone has a great week and that you hit your goals or find some success in the week and bring it back to us next week. Have a good day.
Fantastic. Bye.